Dwyane Wade, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you.
And good to have you here with a book that I didn't know what to expect when I started reading it, but it feels like a memoir in pictures. It feels like a story of your life and some of your inner monologue thoughts. Like, what inspired this version of the book?
It is. That's exactly what it is. I didn't want to go at it from a standpoint of like just words on a paper. I've done that once, and it was great. But like this time, sitting down thinking about my responsibility and my role, and I take it very seriously as a public figure, and just understanding that little Dwyane's needs something to see.
Right.
Like reading something is great, but when they can actually see the image of something, of someone, I think that right there is more powerful. So for me, it was important that I show the human side of what people look at as an athlete, because they met me as an athlete.
Right, okay.
But I'm a human, and so I wanted to show a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book divided into quarters. Like your life has been this game that you've been playing out. I was a little disappointed because I was like, well, it can't be 4 quarters because your life's not finished yet. So then the next one's going to be overtime. You realize that, right?
Didn't think of that. I didn't think of writing another book. I was like, this is it.
Your life is. Do you ever think about that as an athlete? It's like, a lot of the time for athletes and for the public, sometimes your life ends when your career ends. Do you ever think about that and how hard it is to think about your next journey as a human being? I mean, I know, you're a husband, you're a dad, you're a businessman now, but were you ever worried? Was there ever a moment where you were like, man, who is Dwyane Wade without the ball? Who's Dwyane Wade without the hoops?
1,000%. I mean, basketball is what I know, right? From the standpoint of, I've focused my whole life on trying to be great. If you're trying to be great at something, you understand that it takes all of your attention, it takes all of your time. And once I got to like my last year, when I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to walk away, I was like, what am I gonna do next? And everybody tells you along the way, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna have so many things going on. You're like, how? Where? And I took a few months off, maybe like 2 to 3 months, and then I just said, you know what? Talk with my team and let's get back to it. Let's just hit the ground running. Let's take meetings and let's see where my interest lies, because I didn't know. All I knew is I loved the game of basketball, and I enjoy business. I enjoy making money. I enjoy creating things. I enjoy designing things. So for me, it was like, let's find what that next step is. So I feel that I'm in my rookie season in life again. I'm in the pregame. I'm in the pregame again, in this new step, this new walk.
If I had guessed before reading the book and someone said to me, okay, what are Dwyane Wade's passions? I would have gone, okay, basketball is definitely one of them.
Yes.
I would have said fashion is definitely one of them.
Yes.
Dwyane Wade's never been afraid to take a chance. I would have said wine is one of them.
Yes.
But one thing I would have never said before reading the book was karaoke.
Oh. Listen.
You're a humble person, but the one thing you have no humility about, you call yourself the greatest karaoke singer in the league.
Well,
you're just like, you're the
when
GOAT.
I was in the league.
Yeah, you're
now
the GOAT.
I'm out of the league. I'm the GOAT.
Oh, you're just the GOAT now.
It's not that I can sing. I cannot sing to save my life. It's that I will get up on stage anywhere to sing karaoke. Like, I'll go to local bars and just jump on stage. That's the kind of person I am.
Wow.
I got to know the song, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you just.
I do it anywhere.
Do you have a favorite song? Like, what is like Dwyane Wade's?
Well, my wife told me I need a new song because I've been doing the same one for about 6-7 years.
What's that song?
Oh, Montel Jordan. This is how, It's easy. I like Montel Jordan because it brings the energy.
I hear you.
Everybody know the words. Even if you don't know the words, you know some of the words. And so it's kind of crowd participation. And I don't have to sing. I can deep voice it. So, but yeah, I love it, man. I love it.
I did like the human side of your story with LeBron. I wasn't in the U.S. when the whole move to Miami happened. I wasn't in the U.S. for that chaos. What do you think was the biggest thing that people missed from LeBron coming to Miami? You share a few thoughts in the book that I really enjoyed. The conversation you had, what were you trying to achieve. But what do you think people missed in that story? What do you think that people just didn't understand about that move and the big three?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that people didn't understand. I mean, as athletes, when you're touted as one of the goods and the greats in the game, they say these are the things you have to accomplish. You have to get rings. You have to get MVP. Like, it's all these things. And so you can't knock someone for listening to that and going out and making sure that you put the best team around you to win. And so I think at that time, I had won a championship at 24. I've been losing. I was tired of that. LeBron, for 7 years, he got close once, but he was ready to get over that hump.
Right.
Chris Bosh was an emerging star in Toronto, and he was ready to get a little bit more light, a little bit more attention. So I just feel like, man, just to be young and to decide as young men that we want to do this. As friends, we understood at that moment that we were shifting the culture of what the NBA was
Yeah,
at that moment.
it will never be the same.
Yeah,
I mean,
player empowerment. That's
Right.
what that move was about.
Your life has been one that is filled with both tragedy and triumph. I can't help wondering if that's why you've been as dedicated to your family as you have been. You know, it feels like Dwyane Wade has gone like, I want to win championships on the court, but I want to win championships at home as well. And, I see that, with, for instance, your son Zaire, who's playing in the game now.
Yeah.
I've seen your face light up when you watch him and when you play against him. And I've also seen, like, the journey that you've been on with your daughter and just, like, talking through the challenges of having a child who's trans and learning about it. And I want to know a little bit more about that. Everyone thinks the journey to understanding trans people and the conversation happens overnight. It wasn't overnight for you.
No.
And you had to learn. If you were to talk to another parent out there, or somebody who just goes like, Dwyane, I don't get, this is wrong, I don't get it. What helped you to begin to understand so that you could be the best parent to her?
Well, I think when things happen personally to you, when you have a personal connection to something or someone, you take it a little bit more serious. But when it happens to you, you have to look it in the face. You have to, right on. Like my daughter looking at me across the table. I have to. This is something I need to deal with, right? In the sense of I don't know everything, and as a parent, you want to make sure that when your kids come to you, you have answers. You know what I mean? You have the right words, you have the right, support, whatever it is, you have the right motivation. And so at that moment, I had no answers. The only answer that I knew and that I had, that this was my child. I love him and I hate the pain that my child is in.
Wow.
Right? Seeing the pain of, not being able to feel, confident and comfortable in who you are.
Right.
That's not, you don't want to see no one live like that, no one you love. And so immediately, once the hug and the embrace and you see just the light, like I see Zaya's light. And for me to be in a place where I'm not trying to dim her light, I'm trying to move out the way and let her get all the light. I just see a beautiful, blossoming 14-year-old girl who's, trying to find, trying to pass her test at school just like everybody else.
Yeah,
She's trying to
yeah.
find friends that are new, this year going back to school like everyone else. And, my wife and I, our whole role and our whole job, and we understand this, is, to provide, to protect, to love, to facilitate. We have all these rules. It's not to own. It's not to say you're going to be this and you're going to do that.
Right.
It's to find out who they are, it's find out what their likes and what are their dislikes, and try to help them, through life.
Be the best they can be.
Find themselves. It's not about us. You know what I mean? It's not about us.
That's hard to accept as a parent, man.
Yeah.
But you're doing it. Dwyane Wade, thank you again for joining me on the show. Congratulations. This is a really fantastic coffee table book / memoir-ish vibe. And I'm excited to see what overtime is going to bring, man. Congratulations. Thank you, my dude. Oh, you got it?
Ooh.
Man, that was quick. You still got those reflexes. I like that. Dwyane Wade's new book, Dwyane, is available now.